All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today's webinar, we're going to discuss the differences between Google Ads and Facebook ads. I get this question all the time, and so I thought I'd dedicate a webinar to go over the differences and see what is right for you and what's going to work best for your business. So this will be a great webinar, very informative. Before we get into the webinar, I'd like to invite Bill Seitz, our corporate broker and CEO of Clearview Mortgage. Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. I'm doing all right. Thank you.
All right. And I'm also going to bring on Cameron Alley from Clearview Mortgage. Cameron, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Kevin?
Real good. So what we're going to do is, so Cameron's going to go through what's going on out there in mortgage land first, and then Bill's going to give us a little broker update. And then we're going to get into the meat of our presentation. So Cameron, what's going on out there in mortgage land? I'm going to bring up your 10-year just for fun.
All right, great. So if you could hit the 3-month tab there.
Sure.
Tab. So as everybody I'm sure is aware and knows what's going on, obviously rates have been going up pretty quickly and dramatically. If you look at that 3-month trend, it really kind of summarizes where we are right now. There's been a couple corrections here and there where it's come back down a little bit, but with everything that the Fed is saying and everything that financial experts per se are saying is that the trend is going to be continuing to go up. So today, what I did is I kind of basically created a quick presentation to kind of go over that and basically help you guys know how we can help people qualify in a rising rate environment. If you didn't mind sharing my screen real quick, Kevin, I can hop into that real quick and I'll try to make this as quick as possible. See if we can do it.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen now, Cameron.
All right. It is not giving me access. Let's see.
Oh, you know what? I apologize, Cameron. I do have to promote you to a panelist.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right, I'm going to do that.
All right, there we go. And
you're coming up in the world, Cameron. You're a panelist now. All right, perfect. And Cameron, you are muted, so unmute, please. Cameron, you're still muted, buddy.
Okay, now we're good?
Now we're good.
All right, can everyone see the screen?
Correct, we can.
All right, that wasn't too painful. All right, guys, so today just wanted to go basically over how we can help buyers qualify in a rising rate environment right now. With the increase in rates, there's, estimations that are about 15% of people that were shopping for mortgages got washed out due to payment increases. So what we're going to do today is talk about what we can do to help people still qualify and a lot of things that people kind of overlook as far as like other lenders and easy ways to help people settle. Ways CVM can be creative when qualifying your clients. The most powerful thing is paying off liabilities and monthly debts like, credit cards, car payments, other things that are a lot of times really aren't that big of a dollar figure, which I'm going to go over. Using exact rate pricing, avoiding PMI with only 10% down, offering lower rates due to our compensation plan. And I'm going to go over all these in detail for you guys. So don't worry about it if I'm rushing over this. Grossing up retirement income and setting up IRA withdrawals. That's a huge one that many people don't know about. Offering ARMs and interest-only financing for jumbo loans. Ensuring your clients have the cheapest homeowners insurance possible. Taking advantage of all our lenders and programs, being like a one-stop shop. Vetting your clients with realistic expectations and being quick, avoiding expired locks. So I'm going to go over all these in details, and hopefully it'll be very powerful information that you guys can take with you, not only from a perspective of CVM, but also when you're talking with your clients too. So this is just a review that we got, just an example of a success story here for one of the clients. We just closed his loan, I believe, on the 2nd. And this is just an example of what happens all the time. So I highly recommend using CVM. I was in the process of losing a $20,000 earnest money deposit on the home of my dreams. I went through 2 other brokerage companies, but none were able to get the deal done. The sellers were close to canceling our deal, so it gave me one last chance. CVM received all my info, and we were able to close in less than 10 days. So this is, like I said, this just closed this month. This deal would have fallen out of escrow, but we got it closed in 6 business days. There was no really huge issues on this loan. It's just the other lenders weren't being creative, and they didn't have good enough products to get his payment low enough to qualify him. So very, very powerful stuff. And then this is just basically showing you it closed in 6 days. And he went from losing 20 grand to getting the house done. And basically anyone this gentleman knows, he's going to be sending to the agents that didn't give up on him and the lender that made it happen. So, you know, doing stuff like that, obviously great for referrals because you're literally saving someone's behind from losing a lot of money and getting into their home. So first of all, paying off liabilities.
Real quick, Cameron, real quick, I just want to make one super quick point I think will benefit the agents. So Cameron did a great job on this, and this is obviously a mortgage, but it also translates to real estate as well. So Cameron did an amazing job. And what did he do once he kicked butt for that client? He didn't just leave it there. He asked that client for the review, right? You didn't just say, hey, I did a great job. You sent him the link to your review page and you got the review, right, Cameron?
Yep, exactly. And we all need to be better about because that you can literally on the bottom of your email signature have a link to your reviews and everyone's going to have access to them. And
for sure.
That's something that I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah, and you got to just make it so easy for your clients to leave a review for you that it's just, they have no excuse. They want to do you the little favor of leaving you the review because you did such a great job. So sorry about that, Cameron. It's just, that stuff is so important.
You're good, Kevin.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. So now this is the secret sauce right here, guys. So liabilities, this is basically an example of a liability sheet. This is their balance and this is their payments that they have each month for those. So if we wash these out, basically they're going to qualify for a lot more because you're washing out those payments. So one thing that's very important when you're working with clients that other lenders might tell you, if they're told to pay off debt, do it all in escrow. Never pay it off on their own because those debts and balances that are reflected on the credit report, if they owe more than what's right here, not a big deal. Let's say this card goes to $8,000. Doesn't matter. You can pay off the $3,022 and you're going to get that liability washed off of his payments per month, which is going to help his debt to income ratio. So we only need to pay what's on the report. If they owe less, like I said, we can get an updated statement and honor the lower balances. So let's say he only owes $1,000, right? We can actually just use $1,000 and wash that off. So then he saves money further from there. Like I said, never have your clients pay it on their own because those funds then have to be traced, which is a headache. And I'm sure you guys know that tracing funds on bank statements, especially when you just did something and you can't get the most updated statement, it's a big pain. So paying off an escrow is the way to go. So basically, if we paid off $8,117 for this client, that can open up another $319 a month in usable income, which is obviously a huge amount. So let's say your client wants to put down 10%, okay? If he only puts down 6% and pays off the debt instead, he's actually going to qualify for more than if he puts down a larger down payment. So the big idea here is just paying off liabilities is very powerful, and sometimes it's not really that much money. Many times other lenders overlook managing these liabilities as a tool to help your clients. Happens literally every single day. And that a good example of that loan that just closed, that's exactly what they did. They didn't pay off an Amex charge card, which the payment was reflecting $3,000 a month, but there's never a balance held on that card. So anyways, this is an even better example. So you have a lot of very low balances on these cards here, like not much that's owed, but there's a lot of payment accumulation there. So for this one, paying off $1,800 can open up your client's monthly payment by $227, which is, a big number when you're talking about qualifying and debt to income ratios. So by paying off all these really small cards, we're opening up all that extra payment. And also too, we're doing it all in escrow. So it's not going to be a pain for them. All they have to do is send a credit card statement and escrow will send the checks. So very, very easy to do. This is another thing, using exact rate. This isn't as huge of a deal, but this is something very important that other lenders can't do. Most lenders price by the 8th, which means a 4%, and then you have a 3.875, and there's nothing in between that, right? So in this scenario, this buyer, basically that payment is the highest that their payment can be. Well, we can go to exactly the rate that is needed for that payment and save them, an extra $1,000 in closing costs and still get them qualified. So something very unique that a lot of people can't do, which is very powerful. And that also helps people qualify. Avoiding PMI with only 10% down. I talk about this pretty often on the webinar, but it's good to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. So the industry standard, obviously 20%, right? If you look at these payments, this is with no PMI and this is the exact same loan scenario. So basically this person's getting the 4%, their payment, principal and interest is $2,148. If we do with PMI, first off, the rate's a little worse, the payment's higher, and then they have $183 PMI. And that's basically what you're going to be getting with another bank, but also their comp's probably higher, so the rate's going to be a little worse. So basically, in this example, your buyer's payment would be $219.75 cheaper by going with us compared to another bank. So what's that do? Once again, makes the DTI a lot better. You're saving $219. So at another bank, that buyer just got disqualified. Without the PMI, they're good to go. So, that's very, very powerful. I won't go over this too much. Basically, lowering compensation means better rates. The industry average in California is 2 to 2.5 compensation when lender paid. Our comp is 1.75. So basically what that means is the lower comp means we have about an 8th better rate sheet when compared to apples with most of our competitors. So let's say someone's getting a 4% with another bank that has a comp in this range. We're looking at a 3.875 on a $600,000 loan. You're talking, $70 cheaper a month, which helps them qualify. Once again, this is all about qualifying. It also saves them closing costs because the origination fee is a lot smaller. On jumbo loans, if we're doing a $2 million loan, we obviously don't mind cutting our comp to help you qualify. That's something that we really only can do on jumbo loans because obviously we have to, meet, our overhead and everything and make sure that we're paying all the bills. But on the large things like this, we have no problem doing that to help you guys and make sure that you get a client and you can get referrals. So like I always say, our number one priority is getting your deals closed over everything else. Our refis, whatever we do, our goal is to help you guys grow. So this is another thing, grossing up retirement income and setting up IRA withdrawals. Many retired homebuyers have no idea their income is the best income out there. Retirement income is literally the easiest income to qualify. Social Security, disability, VA disability can all be grossed up, which means basically we can count more money than they're actually making because it's fixed income that's going to be there for the rest of their life. Many retirees have large IRAs that they don't tap into. In order to use an IRA distribution as income, they can set up IRA withdrawals, and that money only needs to last 3 years in order to qualify as income. So if your client, let's say they have a $100,000 IRA that they haven't touched, they can set up withdrawals for $2,777 a month on top of their Social Security and pension and all that other stuff. And basically that 100,000 over 3 years equals that $2,700 mark, right? So they get all that income. And once the loan closes, they can literally stop the IRA withdrawals. The bank doesn't care. They just want to know that they have that IRA, they have it set up, and that they have it usable for 3 years. So very powerful. A lot of people don't know about that. This is for our jumbo products. I just wanted to show you guys the difference in payments and how we can help you qualify using the ARMs and interest-only products on jumbo loans. So this is all the same loan scenario. On an interest only jumbo loan, I believe this was a $1.6 million loan is what I did for this scenario. So on interest only, their payment is $3,854 a month, principal and interest. Obviously very, very low for a jumbo loan. They don't have to pay interest only. They can pay, you know, as much principal as they want every month. It just comes down to basically making sure that they qualify, because obviously if it's self-employed, they might be making more than they're claiming, right? So this is a powerful tool for people like that. A 5/6 ARM, the payment's $4,148, so a little higher, but they are paying some principal, which is great. And also look at that rate, 2.875 on a 5/6 ARM on a $1.6 million loan. And then on a 30-year fixed, look how much higher that payment is, $4,774. So while Wells Fargo and Chase and Mr. Cooper and maybe some of those other big retail lenders are only offering this, we can get the payment almost $1,000 lower and get them qualified. And that is on jumbo loans. So that's good information to know. This is another thing that is really useful, is getting them cheaper homeowners insurance. So as an example, if the purchase price on the home is $800,000 and the replacement cost is only $360,000, the dwelling coverage only needs to cover that replacement cost. A lot of people cover the loan amount, and then it's like their insurance is doubled, and then they divide that by 12, and that's how much it costs them monthly, right? So basically, if we get them the cheapest insurance, now they have another maybe $80 a month in income they can use towards a payment. 80 might not sound like a lot. When you're talking about debt to income, that's a big deal. So that's something that we always try to do and make sure that we're doing for your clients, so that they are getting basically the cheapest product out there and it's helping them qualify. So obviously the lower the annual premium, that means the lower the monthly liability is going to be for that particular thing, which is going to help them qualify once again. And then this is obviously one thing that is really great, is just all the products that we offer in-house: VA, FHA, manufactured homes, hard money, bank statement loans, ARM and interest for jumbos, conventional, obviously. And really exciting announcement that basically just came out. We don't need profit and loss statements for self-employed loans anymore. So that is a huge update. That's been a very hard struggle for the industry. Now we can just do 2 years taxes for self-employed again. So that's really, really great. And then basically, you know, vetting your buyers for you, making sure that you are getting a realistic pre-approval that's actually based on a deep dive, because I can't tell you how many times I've had realtors call me and say, hey, I got this pre-approval, and it's not even close to what they actually qualify for. So, you know, just once again, attention to detail, making sure that our priority is giving you guys the best information you have out there, so that you can get your buyers into escrow and they can stay there. And then obviously, as always, thank you so much for your guys' time. If anybody wants this, maybe I'll have you know, Kevin email it to everybody, because there is some really good information on this liability stuff that you guys can kind of go back to and use when talking to clients. But basically, we're always here for you. Make sure to give us a call or email us, and we look forward to helping you guys have a great year in a rising rate environment. And there's ways around it, and we can definitely help you get more clients qualified. So that's about all I have for today.
Fantastic, Cameron. I really appreciate that. It's some really good insight. And yeah, please do just email that to me and copy my assistant Tyler, and we can get that out to everybody.
Sounds good, cool. Kevin. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, don't hesitate to call Cameron. He is absolutely a rock star in the loan world, and he's there for you. So don't hesitate to call him or anyone on the CVM team. So Bill, let's bring you on the line, and I know you've got a little broker update for us. So fill us in.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. And thank you, Cameron, for that, that overview. That was amazing. You know, even myself being in it for as long as I have, and watching it organized in that fashion made it really easy for, I'm sure, a lot of you to understand what can be done in the world of financing if you have the right person working with you. But I just wanted to have a couple quick announcements. Everyone should have received their 1099 by this point. I believe they went out Friday and Monday. and they should have been a password protected email that went out to you. And if you have any questions, I want to make sure everyone knows where to go for questions regarding your 1099. If there's something that maybe isn't lining up, or you're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is this isn't the figure that I have. I want to make sure that you guys address it quickly. Obviously, people are starting to make their tax appointments and starting to get organized in that capacity. So you want to email finance at altarealtygrp.com. That's finance at altarealtygrp.com. And our CFO, that's his primary email address for the company. And so I spoke to a couple agents yesterday that had a couple of questions. So I want to make sure that you guys all know where to go for that stuff. And another question I had too was transaction coordinator income. A lot of times at closing, agents are choosing to pay their TCs through escrow, right? So they're getting paid as you're getting paid. Maybe the CDA is going out, and then we've also have the TC fee coming out and going straight to the TC. Well, make sure that if this is your TC and you're using that person throughout the year, that you do have a W-9 on hand for them, because this income will be counted towards you, the agent. It's not something that we're getting and sending out to your TC. We don't collect W-9s from independent TCs or people that are out there in the real estate world that you may or may not be using. That's really a requirement for the agent. This is something, the gross commission comes in, Alta gets their flat fee, you guys get your gross commission, and then you're basically peeling off that piece to your TC. So I think it's super important to either, get squared up with your accountant or make sure that you've got a W-9 on hand, so that at the end of the year, you're like, oh, wait, I didn't think this was my income. Well, it is the agent's income. It's not our income. Our income is actually just, the smaller piece. So just something to think about there. And then lastly, I want to thank all the agents that are really being mindful of submitting documents and getting their, in order to get their CDAs. A lot of agents I can tell they're doing a better job, and they're submitting things in chunks, whether it's the listing and then the purchase agreement and then the trailing disclosures up until closing. So I really want to thank you all who are being conscientious about that. That being said, we still have a few agents that are doing what one of our agents, Randy, I'll give him credit for this term, a dump truck file. Dropping 70 to 80 pieces of disclosures and contracts, from listing to contract to escrow information, a day before closing, or maybe even 2 or 3 days after the file is closed. That is not the way to operate, and it just backlogs the whole system, and it's not designed for that. We're designed to be efficient, and so we're hoping you all can get it efficient too. So once again, thank you to all the agents that are being mindful and really trying to work within our system, because it's designed to work really well. But when we have the dump truck agents, it hurts all of us. So there's hopefully we can keep improving, keep getting better, and I think you'll find that your closings, your CDAs will be coming out quicker with less issues. So that's it for me, Kevin.
Perfect. Well, good points, Bill. Thank you. Definitely, that helps everybody. If we clog up the works, then it kind of slows things down for everybody. So good point there. All right, so I'm going to switch gears now and get into our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share my other screen for you guys. So get this question all the time. What should I be doing? Google ads, or should I do Facebook ads, or what's the holy grail here? So the bottom line is Google ads and Facebook ads are actually very, very different. So one thing that I'll say is Facebook, when I think of Facebook ads, I think about curiosity clicks. I think about people coming on to, just clicking on something, that they are kind of interested in, but they didn't go to Facebook to look for, especially what you all have to sell, real estate and real estate services. So I look at Facebook ads as more of awareness, staying top of mind, making sure that the people in your sphere of influence see you there occasionally, because those are the things that reinforce some of the other things that we do. So, and then my kind of notes on Google Ads at, collectively is it's more of people actively looking for exactly what you offer. You're able to basically target specific keyword phrases that people will use to look for your product and service, which is homes and real estate services. So when I think of Google Ads, it's more of like, okay, I'm thinking of selling my home. What's my home worth? Homes for sale in, Irvine. So that's in my mind, that's way more active. People go to Google to search for something specifically. People go to Facebook to kind of kill time or to see what's going on. And then they'll end up seeing a beautiful, ad or a beautiful picture of a home, and they may click on it. And now for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to slump Facebook and Instagram together. So when I say Facebook, I'm kind of talking about Facebook/Instagram, because most of you probably do know that Facebook owns Instagram, and you are able to do both. You're able to post things and do advertisements with Facebook, and it'll also go out to Instagram. So the main difference in these two platforms, first of all, they're both, massive platforms. They've got, millions and millions of eyes on both of them. But the main difference is when you're using Google AdWords, it's paid search versus paid social for Facebook. So, Google AdWords, they utilize a paid search, which is essentially you're targeting specific keywords and you're paying to be there, right? And so real estate agents or their staff kind of, they determine what they think people are going to type into Google to find what you have, right? So very, very different from Facebook ads, which is you're just paying to have your ad placed in specific, Facebook feeds, and you're targeting certain geographical areas, and in some cases, certain interests. They really have put the screws on real estate and housing and what we can kind of target there. We can no longer target age, because that's discrimination, it's age discrimination. So they put the screws on a lot of that. But Facebook ads, they tend to, it's more of, people that are looky-loos. So Facebook, you'll end up getting quite a few leads. You can get a lot of leads from Facebook, but they don't tend to convert as much as Google ads. Now, Facebook ads can be very, very cost effective. Google advertising, if done right, is expensive. I recommend for Google, if you really want to be, successful, I recommend a budget of between $1,500 and $3,000 a month. Facebook, you can get away with a couple $100 and you can, get in front of quite a few people. So I did come across a really good, quick video that I want to share with you guys, because this gentleman breaks this down pretty well. And so I'm going to do a new share here. And we're just going to watch this for a couple seconds. I think it's a 4-minute video.
So which is better for real estate agents looking to generate buyer or seller leads, Facebook or Google Ads? The answer is going to come down to the action that they took to actually come across and see your ad. That action that they took is going to determine their quality as a lead. With Facebook, the only way that anybody ever sees your ads is if they're located within a 15-mile radius of your targeted city and they just happen to be scrolling through their news feed. Maybe they see your ad or a picture in your ad. It made them curious and they clicked. Facebook are always curiosity clickers. They really did not take any action on their own to search you out and find the service that you're offering. No offense to any of my real estate agent friends, but I can promise you that most people are not going onto Facebook to look for a real estate agent to help them buy or sell their home. That's really not what Facebook's used for. Most people are on Facebook to snoop on friends or look at funny pictures. It's not to find a real estate agent. So while it's not difficult to generate a lot of leads for Facebook and for fairly cheap, it's really going to lead to a frustrating experience for you. The leads are going to be riddled with fake names, fake email addresses, fake phone numbers. If a miracle happens and you actually got a real phone number and you call and they pick up the phone, chances are they're just going to deny ever having been on your website and having any idea of what you're talking about. It really is a complete waste of time. With Google, it's a completely different experience. These are people that actually took action by going to Google and performing searches for the exact service that you're offering. So some of the keyword examples that people might be searching for seller leads in Las Vegas might be along the lines of sell my Las Vegas home, Las Vegas listing agent, what is my Las Vegas home worth? These are going to be the type of keywords that show us what their intent and what their interest is. Traffic that comes from Google are individuals that took action to search you out. Their intent was to find you and the service that you're offering. We know this by the keywords that they typed into Google to find your website. Traffic from Google is always going to be very targeted and very relevant, especially when you're comparing it to the quality of the traffic and leads that are coming from Facebook. To be successful and to give you the highest and best chance of turning a lead into a listing, our marketing campaigns must be focused on generating leads that are actively searching you out and are genuinely interested in and want to talk to you about buying or selling a home. We simply must have the right eyeballs viewing our ads. It's critical. It does us absolutely no good if the people viewing our ads aren't interested in what we are offering. To be a high quality lead, we are looking for people in your area that actually took action on their own to search you out. People who then will willingly give us their name, property address, email, and phone number. If they don't provide us with a phone number, I do not consider them a real lead.
Okay, so really good points there. It's just, Facebook ads, they can tend to be a lot less expensive. They are a little bit flashier. You're using images and imagery instead of using, stuff like words. So it's a very interesting thing. But Facebook ads, when used in conjunction with Google ads, is a really good thing. I talk a lot about this kind of three-pronged, four-pronged, five-pronged approach where someone's seeing your advertisements in multiple areas, right? And so you can set a low budget for Facebook, target your geographical area, and just make sure that you're getting a little bit of eyes on you and on your products and services. So it's a really good way to stay top of mind, because we all know nobody really cares about a realtor until they really need one. And it's usually kind of like, oh, all of a sudden I need one. So you call the realtor that's top of mind. You call the realtor that you see, their ads pop up here and there. And, you also will send them your monthly newsletter. So those are those kind of three-pronged approaches. So using Facebook ads in conjunction with Google ads really gives you a good marketing mix. So here's an example of one of our agents' Google ads. So you can see this is a static. It's, there's no images, there's no pictures. It's just this pops up when someone does a search for Irvine homes. So notice that all of these up here have a little AD next to it. That's an ad. These people have paid. They're using Google AdWords to be here. The very next one down, Zillow. This is here on search engine optimization merit. So they're there because they're very relevant. And obviously everybody knows Zillow is, one of the largest, real estate websites in the world. They have a giant page rank. And so they come up very easily in search engine results. So the only way to beat out Zillow is to spend money on Google AdWords. And so that's a really, really great way to do it. Now, Fauzi is a new agent. She's only been in the business for, I think, a couple of years, but she is at least setting a small budget for herself on Google Ads. And so you can see she's targeting these specific keywords, and she's getting people to click on her ad when they do a search for something like Irvine Homes. So this is the ad space that you get on Google Ads. So we can see her ad looks like this. She's got, the different areas within Irvine. She's got Woodbridge, Irvine, Turtle Rock Homes, Northwood. So those are the different, communities within Irvine. So we do have the ability to make a very nice, static ad that people can click on. So that's what a Google ad looks like. Of course, Facebook ad is nothing more than just, a post, and then next to the post it says, sponsored post. But we are able to, on Facebook ads, use images. So the images are, very, very powerful. So in conclusion, and I am going to include this my graphic for you guys that really kind of goes into detail. I will put that out on our replay. But in conclusion, I think that there is no, it's not like you can just use Facebook or just use Google. I think combining them is a really, really good, way to do it. So I do have a question here from Helen. Helen says, Facebook by itself is basically worthless. Wouldn't it dilute the power of Google if we combine them? No, not at all. They're so different. And Facebook really, is, like I said, it's, in my mind, more for awareness. And because you do get awareness and you do get people's eyes on you. And so I wouldn't say it's worthless, but I think that, again, combining them is really powerful. So Helen, if you want to continue that discussion with me, you're certainly welcome to, contact me directly. So Bill, do we still have you on the line?
I'm here.
Hello, Bill. So, before we close, I just want to see, do you have any takeaways for us from today's webinar?
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting and really well explained about the difference between somebody just perusing a feed versus an action item, like actually typing in a word and they're looking for something. So they're actually trying to find some information, which by they're actively putting in the key phrase or term, right? That's a action item, like the gentleman said. And then also just the difference of the Facebook is where you're just kind of scrolling through your news feed and whatever kind of looks appealing. You might click on it, you might not, but it is still an impressionable moment. I think just relating to real estate, if you are using these things, and let's say you just want to be a community expert, you want to be someone, here, whatever, in Irvine for, let's say, the Turtle Rock community, if you probably layer the two together and you just do a real small community, whatever, there's maybe, 10,000 homes in Turtle Rock, and you utilize the Facebook just for that micro community, just for the visual scroll, right? You might be involved at the school. You might be at, Bonita Canyon Elementary School, and you might work there part-time as someone who supports your kids, or you might be coaching soccer, or you might be doing something that you do outside of real estate, but you're visible to people in the community. So if you get on those community feeds and people see, so-and-so does real estate, even though they're not clicking on it, they're not looking for it, they're still seeing you as somebody connected to real estate. Then you layer it over with the Google targeted ads, Turtle Rock Homes for Sale, or Turtle Rock Listings, or Listing Agent, whatever it is. Then you're getting the most bang for your buck, and it could be effective. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Oh, 100%. And then guess what? Next week, we're going to be talking about mailers. And so doing targeted mailers in that specific area. So, and again, like just these 3, 4, 5-pronged approaches is the way to do it. Having a marketing mix, not just I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket, but having that marketing mix is where you really start to get the benefit. Each component starts to help the other components, and you get this synergy, right?
Yeah. So now that I understand it better myself, if I was going to do this, I would definitely micro target the community that I want to penetrate with the Facebook. I would do that, but I would not do a very broad area. I would literally, shrink it down to the most, focused area that I'm trying to penetrate and make a presence into. And then I would, go a little bit more macro with the Google.
Right, that's exactly right. And then guess what we can also do, Bill, is we can go to our title company, get a list of, local homeowners, and we can upload that list as a special list into Facebook, and we can target those particular people.
Yeah, that's
Boom.
powerful.
Powerful. So those are the things that how we can tighten the screws on some of these things and make sure that we are in this hyper niched little area, and we are maximizing our efforts. So like I said, next week, we're going to be having a company called offers.com come on our webinar, and they do a great job of identifying not just in a geographical area, but the homes in a geographical area that have the highest propensity for sales based on a bunch of different criteria. So if we're using all these things in conjunction with one another, very powerful. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for today. If you have questions, you can of course contact me, and I will be getting all of this information, my graphic, out to you guys on the replay. And I really appreciate all of you guys being on the webinar today. We have a lot of new agents. Really appreciate you guys being here, and a lot of our regulars. And so thanks again for being on the webinar, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the webinar next week. Bye-bye.